the number 3 pick in Portland is absolutely fascinating. I think it's one of the most fascinating trade chips sitting out there right now, because Portland could very easily use that pick and maybe even just say, hey, we're going to pivot away from Damian Lillard. Or they could use that pick and maybe Anthony Simons or, Yusuf Nurkic contract and go out and get someone to come in and play with Damian Lillard. So they are at a serious pivot point. The Zion stuff, there's just so much noise, so much smoke right now. Am I overthinking this by thinking that Portland and New Orleans may be trying to figure something out here?
It's fascinating because it's the kind of trade that makes you go, yee, from both sides, which is the kind of thing that also makes you say, that might actually be a very interesting kind of fair. You can see why each team would do it. And each team is taking a gamble. But from their respective situation, it might be a gamble worth taking. If Portland, take it as facts on the ground, assuming they were trying to trade for Zion, they're going all in for the remainder of Damian Lillard's tenure as a star. However, whether that's a year, 3 years, whatever. Taking that as a fact on the ground, what better move is there for you? Like, Zion Williamson has shown like all NBA level ability when he's been healthy. But that's the gamble you're taking. Maybe New Orleans doesn't want to be in that particular business anymore. You can kind of see why their two best players have been injury prone and unable to really coexist super well in Zion and Brandon Ingram. I would, if I had to choose between them, I would obviously pick Zion. But if I'm going to break that up and I can get a Scoot Henderson to kind of reset that timeline a little bit, to maybe get a little healthier version of the same sort of level of talent, even if not the same kind of body type or position, that's fascinating to me. Like, there are going to be some long meetings in both places if that's what they're talking about, because I just, like, you don't know, and it's a big swing, but man, it's fascinating.
It's a huge swing for both teams. It's one of those things where it's like, this might work out amazing for one team, might work out win-win for both teams, might be lose-lose for both. Every possibility is on the board with that stuff. And listen, if Portland's going to go for it with Dame, cool. I'm good with that. It's what you said, Dave, is so right. They can go so many different ways right now. It's forgive me, I just watched the Spider-Man into the spider across the Spider-Verse. So there's a million different parallel worlds in which this is going to be, I wish I could go visit the ones and take a look and see what's what with all of that stuff and see how all of these things play out. It's fascinating. And the funniest thing is, and all of this could be moot if Charlotte takes Scoot Henderson at 2, because that seems like who New Orleans wants. I don't think I make that trade if it's Brandon Miller and I have Ingram, in that sense or whatnot. So it becomes very interesting. The intrigue is very high. I think this is going to be a heavy trade offseason more than a he signed where type offseason. And I think it's going to start on draft day.
Oh, so the NBA invited 19, I believe 19 prospects to the draft. And I wonder if it's because they're anticipating a lot of trades. Who knows where guys are going to go? Because we may get into the teens and teams are saying, hey, that's a guy that might be able to help us. I mean, Miami Heat have the 18th pick in the draft. This is incredible. They just played in the finals. They have the 18th pick. It's extremely valuable. They've got Tyler Hero. They've got stuff they can do. You can see them moving up. There could be a lot of shuffling, but if that number 3 pick is on the table, that is, and Scoot is available, and the guy, oh man.
You know what the 19 guys to the draft made me think of? That's a lot of hats that they got to have on hand just in case they need to.